Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we are Anne and Jonathan Halstead, and in our spare time we love to visit ancient sites around the UK and investigate them from an energetic and spiritual aspect. In part 3 of our Thornborough Henge visit, which is located on the A6 108 between West Tamfield and Thornborough, described as a unique and important cluster of Neolithic monuments, we visit the Middle Henge. In our last 2 episodes, we investigated the wooden and southern henges. If you've missed those videos, I'll put a link to them in the description below. The visit to Thornborough was a spur-of-the-moment decision on our way home from a weekend away. We'd not come prepared to do any filming, so please do excuse the audio. It was rather windy. We hope, though, that that doesn't spoil your enjoyment as you join us for another wacky ride.
So here we are in the central henge, and as you may be able to see, hopefully, dead ahead through the 2 cuttings is the wooded henge. So we're now in complete alignment of the 3 henges, the one we just visited and then the wooded henge we visited earlier. So we spent many happy hours here. We have.
We're from Yorkshire.
Whatever. and
why?
Basically milling around, drinking mead.
I was just going to say, what's the reason for them being happy hours?
Yeah, mead.
Yeah, Lancashire Mead
Lancashire
Company.
Mead.
We'll give you a plug.
Absolutely.
Best mead going.
But yes, this place was where the magic happened for me. And I saw that absolute amazing shaft of white light coming down through the centre of this henge, and that's where it all kicked off. And I'll be honest with you, when I arrived I thought, is that it? Seriously? Is that where we've travelled all this way for? Because it's roughly about 80 miles away from where we live, this place. Between 60 and 80 miles, so it's not like on the doorstep. But and it was through Anne's brother that we got to find out about this place. And when we arrived the second time, there was a full-on festival going on, a Beltane festival. So after that, we thought we'd get involved in that, which we did. Thoroughly enjoyed them. And over time, one night there was a huge bonfire. Got a big bonfire going somewhere just over the... That was
Beltane, wasn't it?
Over the henge at Beltane, yeah. And if you looked up, it was a beautiful starlit night. If you looked up, you could even see the UFOs flying about as well. Yeah, and they weren't shooting stars, because I know what a shooting star looks like and I know how it behaves. And shooting stars don't go in a triangular formation or pattern. Yeah, or appear once there and then once down here, once over there and then once up there. No nav lights. Similar happened at Field of Dreams in York. Yeah, keep looking up at the skies, folks. It's very interesting. So here we are, and we'll have a walk through, see if we can pick up that energy again. We feel as though we're now kind of making it out. The ley line is running north to south. Couldn't get the orientation up in the wooded henge, but we're looking now north to south or south to north, whichever you go. And one other thing I'd like to comment on is that when we went to the Devil's Arrows at Borough Bridge in North Yorkshire, which is somewhere down that way, down the A1, there is a ley line that we found connecting with the Devil's Arrows through Thornborough Henge and going right out to, I believe it was Castlerigg. Okay, I've documented that somewhere, I can't remember where. But anyway, we'll continue on our journey of discovery. well, we're here in the centre of the central henge. The energy is different. I'm picking up. I actually feel elevated rather than being dragged down to the ground. I actually feel as I'm being taken upwards, like ascending, which is very interesting. Now, the other two henges, we found that the energy followed the circular pattern of the henge in a clockwise fashion. So we're going to move on and just check how the energy works here. Would it be clockwise? Will it be anti-clockwise? Is it completely different? Already felt the ascending energy here, so we'll see how we get on with that.
There's one thing that I've just realised, and that's we've never actually seen the henge empty. Because whenever we've come into the henge, there's been a festival on, hasn't there? So there's been
excuse me,
lots of stalls, lots of things going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really nice to see it in its entirety.
It is.
Right, let's crack on.
Okay. So we're just done a little bit of an assessment on the energy. As we mentioned, the other two henges appear to have a clockwise vortex running on the outer edge. Now we've done this one, which is the central henge, and it's exactly the same. So each of these henges has an anti-clockwise vortex running around it.
And it hits you when you enter that section, doesn't it?
Absolutely. When you come out of the centre of the henge, of each henge, it really ramps up the power. Yeah, so I'm going to try and tune in and ask what all that's about basically. So it's almost like it's generating power. So, you know, we'll see where we go with that. It might be wacky, but whatever.
Well, if it's all to do with you, it will be.
Absolutely.
Okay folks, you might want to strap yourselves in for this next bit of information, and remember, we're not stating it as fact and we can't prove any of this. The information is channelled, so make of it what you will. Jonathan was given that the two outer henges, the wooded and the southern henge, are power generators. The energy vortexes from these hubs create a portal, or wormhole if you like, at the central henge for a UFO to travel interdimensionally back to the Orion constellation. As we discovered, the outer henges have what could be described as a descending energy, and it is this energy that creates a portal for the visitors to land. We did mention it might get a bit wacky, didn't we? Well, you were warned.
Looking wistfully off into the distance. Wistful.
Is that wistful?
Wistful. Is it?
I don't know.
There.
Thoughtful.
More about the archaeology of the place if anybody's interested. I'm not an archaeologist, I don't profess to be, that's up to the archaeologists. But you'll see that this is actually what looks to be mounds of earth, the henge itself. It's not like rock, solid rock, you know, like the megaliths and things like that.
They call it earthworks.
Yeah, and you'll see that it looks to have been some form of repair because there's kind of polythene sheeting underneath it, just poking out there. I believe the English Heritage are looking to repair the henges, which is good news. We also appreciate the fact that they've actually fenced off. At first I was a bit about it, but I think it's a good thing now that the henges are being fenced off. You can still get full access to the inner henge. So hopefully this will just keep a lot of the people off the henges. Yeah, I don't profess to be an archaeologist, that's up to them. Like I say, it's their job. I'm not a scientist, that's their job. But interesting how it's been formed. Literally just obviously appears to have been dug out. Or even brought here, who knows? That's down to the indigenous geology. Obviously, right now there's a bit of a debate going on about the altar stone at Stonehenge. So we'll let people battle that one out. But what we do is it's about energy work. It's not about the science of it all or the archaeology of it all. It's about the energy of it all. And that's the bit that neither two of the other departments, let's say, want to know about. But I feel as though we could all learn a lot from each other if they only took it on board. And it might help to fill in some of those blanks and the unanswered questions.
That poor Lucy in the distance there, she looks like she's been on the beach, doesn't she? Either that or we've got 2 flat tyres. Who knows? Well, thankfully there were no flat tyres, it was just the ditch that I'd half parked in. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed this brief tour of the Middle Henge, and apologies once more for the poor sound quality. If you haven't already done so, maybe you'd consider subscribing. It's free and it really does make a difference. Oh, and don't forget, if you hit the bell icon, you'll be notified when we have another adventure ready for you. Take care, and we hope to see you soon. Bye for now.